4 generations strong as a trustworthy family-owned business with unmatched customer service. Go online at DeSantoPropane.com for more info or call toll-free at 1-800-752-4574 today. Since 1937, the difference has been DeSanto Propane.
Hello, everybody. Welcome into Bills Weekly here on FingerLakes1.com. Another Victory Monday here in the studio. Paul Russo here with Jim Senacropi and Kyle Evans as always. Hey, we talked about it last week in this game against the Saints for the Bills. The only true thing that probably would have came from this game is something bad. Well, the Bills survive a sense of first half fight from the Saints and get the job done to beat them, move on to 4-0, and now sit all alone atop the AFC through the first 4 weeks of the year. So, plenty to get to recap that game, look ahead to this upcoming weekend, and anything else that kind of pops up here during our time together. But first, thank a couple more of our sponsors, including Finger Lakes Partners Insurance. Get the insurance you need from the people you know at Finger Lakes Partners Insurance, the Finger Lakes Insurance agency for your home, auto, or business. Get a no-obligation quote today at fingerlakesinsurance.com. And Lil John and Barbie Orthodontics. Dr. Lil John, Dr. Barbie, and their outstanding orthodontic team share a common goal to ensure the overall wellness of each of their patients through their exceptional orthodontic care. You can check them out online at littlejohnortho.com. All right, guys, like I said, this game, really the main headlines from this going into the week would have been pretty much bad only, and for the Bills, like I said, first half, the Saints kind of hung in there pretty tough and everything, and I know, Jim, I said it to you earlier today, I was like, Spencer Rattler is kind of like a gamer for the Saints, their quarterback, I know he's 0-10 as a starter now in the NFL, but he's not out there really purposely losing games, it's kind of funny, the worst throw for the Saints to me in my mind yesterday didn't even come from him. So it kind of goes to show what they were trying to at least accomplish against the Bills, and they hung on tight. But really for the Bills, they just kind of went out there, got the job done, and we kind of look ahead in essence of that. So mission accomplished for the Bills. Nothing totally kooky or crazy in this game like we kind of said last week going into this week. So all in all, a 12-point differential win for the Bills. I'm pretty sure everybody's just going to be, all right, good. We move on, and 4-0, everything's good.
Yeah, I mean, it's 2 straight weeks where it hasn't necessarily looked great. It's been like a grind. Both these teams, the Dolphins and Saints, have come out with a lot of energy and fought real hard. And in fact, with 12 minutes to go, this is a 2-point game.
True.
But then you look at the scoreboard, like you mentioned, back-to-back double-digit wins still. You hit the 30-point mark again. You've done it in 4 straight for the first time since '92. So it's crazy that as bad as it might feel or as poorly as they might have played, they still put up 30, and a lot of teams struggle to even reach 30 points week after week. Just look at the Texans. Yeah. They had a nice win yesterday, but they still didn't reach 30 points. So I think this is it just goes to show you how this team can overcome, some adversity throughout the game and tough times and still grind out wins like this.
Yeah, it was similar to the Miami game in that it was kind of boring. Like, it was close, but you never felt like the Bills were going to lose. At least I didn't. Then at halftime when Bishop made the interception, that kind of swung things a little bit in the Bills' favor. But even if the Saints had scored on that possession, I wasn't thinking that the Bills were going to lose this game. So, one of 2 undefeated teams in the NFL, the Eagles and the Bills. Yep. Only team in the AFC that's undefeated. So through 4 weeks, you couldn't ask for a better start for the Bills.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? I know, kind of like you mentioned, it's the same play I kind of referenced where it's like the only bad pass that the Saints had kind of came from a wide receiver in the sense of that. And, it's just one of those things where, look, like for me, right, I'm watching this game through Red Zone yesterday. And Red Zone, to me, I thought kind of treated this game kind of weird, where they were only really circling it when it was really like something was kind of near to about to happen. So it was a very weird viewing experience for this game for me. It's just one of those things that I agree with kind of both the sentiments that you guys have. Like at the end of the day, they get the win. We kind of keep it moving with that element of it.
Yeah, ain't going to be
You know,
somebody sitting here
it's
saying that they
right.
didn't win by enough or they didn't play well enough. The NFL is a tough league. Just look
Yeah.
at some of the results throughout the
Yeah.
league. That's the reason why there's two teams that are undefeated, the Bills and the Eagles. And guess what? The Bills have arguably gotten there easier than the Eagles, who had some tough games.
Yeah.
I mean, and then the other thing, what concerns me more than anything, I guess, is okay. So we played the Jets, Miami, and the Saints. Week 1, we played Baltimore, and we were outplayed, right?
Yeah.
And it was like, oh wow. But now you see Baltimore's 1-4, and maybe they're not as good as we thought. I mean, they certainly didn't look very good against Kansas City yesterday in a game that everybody thought, the Ravens were going to win on the road.
Yeah.
So, how has this Bills team's been tested so far? I don't know. But like I said, 4-0 in this league is not easy to do, and that's why there's, two teams that are sitting there and only one in the AFC.
Yeah. And it's kind of funny because I was talking with somebody on Saturday, and obviously this is before the game, right? And they were talking about, like, well, the Bills have an easy schedule. I'm like, sure, but, like, you have to play who's in front of you. And to me, it kind of goes back to what we talked about at the start of this season, where it's like they have to take advantage of the schedule this year with what they have. And
the Chargers have an easy game Sunday
Exactly.
against the Giants. Yeah. I mean, that's how this league is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Packers didn't have an easy game last night against the Cowboys.
Right.
Look at the defense back-to-back weeks. It's been bad.
Yeah.
That's what I mean all the time. It's a week-to-week league. Anything can happen.
Yeah, and look, like, I'm looking at some of the breakdown stuff right here just quickly, and frankly, in this game, it's a little bit more even than probably a lot of people maybe think, and it is what it is, but, the win is the win element of it, and to me, like we said, to kind of go back to what we've been saying, like, we went back and talked last week a lot about how, like, the only thing from this game that probably could have been talked about was bad things if you're the Bills. And I don't want to do that. I want to look at the positives, right? Shakir kind of breaks out a little bit in this game early on, right? James Cook, another game. We didn't really mention it at all yet, but James Cook is now the Bills franchise record for most games with a touchdown scored consecutively, right? With 8. So it's just one of those things where it's like we harped a little bit on, like, probably the negative side of things from this game, but there were some plenty of positives really in this game to take away from, probably more so than even the bad than anything else in my mind,
Yeah, and I said it last week. It's just this fan base has so high expectations, and as they should, because of the way the last few years have gone. So when things go bad in games or whatever, they immediately think of the playoffs and is this going to happen in the playoffs? And I think that's why these wins kind of get, like, they don't get enough credit for their wins, even though it's a hard league against any NFL team. They're NFL players, because they're so focused on, is this going to end up happening in the playoffs? Mm-hmm. And that's just how it is. And I think that is like that in Philadelphia too right now. Even though, because they've scraped out a lot of these wins too. They could have lost multiple games already. But, yeah, I think that's just the expectations are just way higher than all the other teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's what it takes to win in this league is you need to win the game down the stretch. You're not going to get through a season or a playoff run without close games. And, the Bills are uniquely, I guess, built to win in late game situations in the NFL because of Josh Allen, obviously, and the ability to lose the lead with 30 seconds on the clock in the fourth quarter and then come back and get it back. Yeah. I mean, that's how you win games in this league against good teams. And we saw it yesterday a lot. I mean, especially with, like, in that Packers game last night. You can't leave Dallas, even 15 seconds because Aubrey can kick a 70-yard field goal. So, like, what are you going to do? Like, you almost have to purposely run the clock out, on that last possession to not give the other team the ball back.
Yeah. I think a lot of my thoughts involving at least that we can probably save until say the betting podcast or something like that on Thursday. So either way, I do want to circle back to the James Cook side of things here quickly because of him breaking the record. Most consecutive games with a touchdown scored, now with 8. It's interesting, right? Because kind of the names he joins, it's really highlighted by O.J. Simpson, frankly, with this list. And for a guy, I think, look, admittedly, it's tough. Running backs, I guess really running backs, period, to be fair, but especially back in the day, outside of really a handful of guys, their window career-wise was pretty small, all things considered. James Cook kind of getting a record like this early enough on in his career, it makes me wonder really kind of what the ceiling is for this record at this point, right? Like, it's kind of tough to me to imagine him not getting to say 9 this upcoming weekend or 10 the weekend after that and stuff like that. Especially you kind of look at the record where it was before, obviously with 7, but elsewhere it was just kind of like 6 and beyond with the list. So James Cook, money well spent with this extension, obviously, and stuff like that. But
100 total purpose yards, in each game this year.
Yeah,
which is pretty good. 3 straight games of 100 rushing yards. I mean, he's the best running back in the league, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, and this is the year his usage is finally going up. You notice Ray Davis and Ty Johnson aren't really getting that many touches, and that wasn't the way the last few years. We mentioned it in the preseason where I was like, well, Ty Johnson and Ray Davis had over 100 carries or whatever the numbers were, and how is that going to factor in now that they've paid James Cook? And sure enough, it's James Cook. Let him cook, and that's what they're doing.
How about the one possession where Cook ran for like 6 yards on first down, and then he came out, and then they gave a rush to Johnson, Davis, and then a Shakur on 4th down, and they didn't get it.
Yeah, that was extremely rare, and I don't know why they made that 4th down play call.
Yeah, or why are you gonna not have James Cook run at least one of those plays for you?
And then I think there was in the second quarter where they gave Cook 3 straight runs, which didn't make sense to me either. And then you could tell he went off and he was just out of gas. He was just bending down, gasping for air. Some of the play calling is still questionable with this team,
agree with that.
despite their numbers, their offensive numbers. And then sometimes it's just too conservative. I thought they were taking more vertical shots early on, which led to that first Josh Allen interception, but more times than not, it's like they're just too safe sometimes. You have Josh Allen as your quarterback. You only allowed him to throw 22 times, and it was a 2-point game and 12 minutes to go. I mean, I just think you should let the guy air it out more. And I know Cook was having a great day, too, on the ground, but he ended up having 22 touches, too.
Yeah.
You can still let Allen, throw more. He's your guy. And we saw against Baltimore what Josh can do when you let him throw.
394.
And the Saints defense isn't, no top-notch defense. So I thought they should have let Allen air it out a little more.
Well, to that regard, Allen's gone under his passing yard total betting line the last 3 weeks. He hasn't hit over since week 1 against Baltimore, which was obviously a unique game.
Yeah, and then another thing, too, is Dalton Kincaid not being on the field a whole lot. In fact, Jackson Hawes was the tight end that was on the field the most. I just don't like that Kincaid only had 2 targets, and the one was a 28-yard touchdown. I think despite all the offensive numbers, they just need to change things up a little bit.
Yeah, he hit his career high season touchdown total this week. Kincaid did with 3. So hopefully, I agree with you. Why only 2 targets to someone like Dalton Kincaid? Can you imagine Travis Kelce in his career only getting 2 targets in a game?
Well. We can't now, but I know what you mean.
I'm not talking about
I know what you mean, though. I do. I had this morning shower thought, if you will, with the Bills, and do they just kind of play to their opponent right now? It kind of feels that way.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
It's different each week.
Yeah,
the tight ends just didn't seem to be the factor in the game plan and this game at all.
Yeah,
I mean, Knox had 1 target. Yeah, I think there was only 3 total targets to tight ends.
Yeah.
Keon Coleman only had 4 targets, but 2 of the catches came in in the first half or first quarter.
Josh Palmer, that big offseason signing, had 25 yards receiving.
Yeah, 45 and 4 targets, but that's not a lot for a guy like you said that they paid. And then Shakir, 5 catches, 69 yards, but 43 of those yards came on that one play.
But he looks like
He does look.
Shakir of last year before the injury,
Right.
which is good for the Bills.
Yeah, I thought that the touchdown that he had was, frankly, early season last year, Shakir.
Yards
in
after
its
catch.
greatest form. Yeah, it. And that's the thing, right, where, I mean, like, where they play their opponent and stuff like that. And, we haven't talked about it a ton this year. We kind of, Kyle, you touched on it quick. The play calling, to me, is just, you have this weapon, obviously, in Josh Allen. And I know, at least for us here, we've questioned overall the wide receiving core in the sense of its overall build, right? Not specifically just individual guys, but you have a really good tight end core. You have some good running backs that you can use in the passing game. It's just one of those things where going forward, I'm really intrigued to see if, I don't know about opening up the playbook, but like, don't be afraid to hammer the gas a little bit. You know what I mean? Like, they shouldn't have been as close with the Saints as they were yesterday, to put it bluntly. And yet, kind of creeping back in here. Maybe we haven't talked about it a ton in the past year on the podcast, but like, goes back again to like this play calling stuff to a degree, and it's like, my main thing is you just have these weapons, unleash them. Don't be afraid to unleash them.
Yeah, you got to let Josh Allen be Josh Allen, and I thought they really took him away in the Miami game too. We talked about it. It was all short stuff. It was like, let's not make a mistake. We're very scared of making a mistake. And when you just let Josh go out and play free and not really think like that, I just think the team's even better. And I just think they're not doing that right now, and hopefully they're starting to pick that up and notice that.
Yeah.
I agree with what you're saying, but I'm also not going to sit here and make any
Right.
complaints about a 4-0 team.
Right.
In this league where you can lose any week.
Yeah.
And I also think it's kind of good going into next week's New England game that the Patriots that were able to have such an easy win themselves.
Yeah.
So, I think we'll be 5-0 next week, and then 6-0 the week after that, heading into the bye. But like any week, anything can happen.
Yeah.
Against any team.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a big point, right? I mean, you mentioned the Patriots game coming up, and then if you want to even do a little bit further, that game before the bye week Monday night against Atlanta.
And look what they just did.
Exactly, a team that rebounded against Washington pretty damn well, right? And so I think that's kind of what I mean, where it's just like you have a couple teams coming up here where, on paper, it shouldn't even be, frankly, a discussion, right? Let's just not give us the worry that we had maybe to a degree for some people this past weekend.
But again, like I said, I was never worried. Like, I was never thought, the Bills are going to lose to the Saints. I never thought that, even when they, even in the first half, I never thought it. It's just like, whatever, it's almost boring. It's almost boring. Maybe it was after that big week 1 game against Baltimore. The rest of these games have been, boring. Boring wins. Easy, boring wins.
Yeah, I thought the Dolphins had more of a shot at beating the Bills than I ever did the Saints. I kept telling people, there's no chance the Saints team is winning.
Or can even cover it, right? What was it, 16 points?
They did cover.
They did cover.
Yeah. I just never felt worried at all. Even if that touchdown stood like you said, which ended up being clearly on the ground, I was like, they're just going to come back. Look at the time.
Yeah.
They'll win.
Hey,
they'll win.
Part of it. So, yeah.
We didn't talk about the defense.
Yeah, I
have a hot take on that.
All right, go ahead.
As bad as it looks, as bad as the run defense was yesterday, did you know in the last 3 straight weeks they've allowed 21 points or fewer?
Yeah.
It's people go to the box scores and look at the numbers, and when you're watching the game, it kind of feels that way.
Yeah.
But then you look, the Saints didn't even reach 300 yards in this game.
Right.
They barely had a passing game, and a lot of those rushing yards came in the first half.
Well, I was gonna say, I think if it wasn't last week, it was the week before. I mentioned it on here. That one of the things that those Chiefs teams did really well defensively was they weren't ever great, but they were a great bend don't break defense. And
points is what matters.
I thought the Bills defense did good in that space yesterday, right? Where it was like maybe it wasn't exactly overwhelming defense, but like they didn't put the team in a lurch by any means. You know what I mean? So it's like
They gave up 9 points in the second half.
it's exactly right. It's exactly kind of what I said when I mean bend don't break defense, right? Like, yeah, it's the NFL. You're probably going to give up some points. Like, let's not be dumb here, you know. But when push comes to shove, you make the stops, you do what you have to do, and that's what I thought the Bills' defense did yesterday. You know,
Cole Bishop,
Yeah.
2024 second round pick, had his biggest play as a Bill probably with that interception. It was interesting to see the cornerback opposite Benford there. They swapped out Dorian Strong and Tre'Davious White like every other series. And I thought that wasn't, but are they doing that? They're probably doing that, one, to maybe try to keep Tre'Davious White healthy, who led the team in tackles, by the way.
No, I was about to say, I thought Trey White was probably the star of the defense yesterday, if I'm being totally honest.
Yeah, and I thought when they started rotating, I thought maybe it was just for discipline because Trey White had 2 penalties in the same quarter.
Yeah.
Sean McDermott hates teams that aren't disciplined. So I think that was kind of to tell the guy, like, hey, just because you're a veteran here and you've been here, you're not going to commit these penalties and keep staying on the field. I think it was a lesson to be learned.
It could be, yeah. I was thinking more like he gets hurt so often that you don't want, when he does get hurt, to bring in Dorian Strong cold. So you get Strong's a rookie, so you were trying to get him some action on the field. Could be a combination of both, but it's just not something you see a lot of NFL teams do, kind of platoon a cornerback for the game.
Yeah, and I don't know if you noticed, too, going into the game, the Bills were the least penalized team in the league, and they had double their average.
Against a crappy team.
Yeah, that's why I think Sean McDermott got a little mad at some of these guys, especially the veteran like Trey White.
Yeah.
He had 2 bad penalties, and then you look at the offense, all the offensive holdings, and the one on Shakir, though, was bad. I didn't think it was really much. But yeah, I think if you want to talk about a negative in that game, it was the penalties. I think the pass rush, if you still want to pick at that, is a problem. Again, where's Greg Russo? You pay him all this money. It's great. I don't even notice him.
Right, yeah. I didn't think about Greg Russo once yesterday.
Yeah. And then another thing would be the offensive line. The Spencer Brown injury really was noticeable. Josh Allen got sacked 3 times. Ryan Vandemark, just 3 career starts, got the start. He did an okay job. Cam Jordan's not easy.
No.
But yeah, Spencer Brown is very important to the offensive line, and it just goes to show you when he's there, that Bills offensive line is the best in the league.
Yeah. First and foremost, Cam Jordan's still pretty damn good. Can confirm. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, that's something I talked about, when we were doing the season preview. Was one of my favorite things about this Bills team has just been the continuity of that offensive line at this point.
And one game missed, you noticed. Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So, yeah. Just one of those things to pass rush too, especially again Ed Oliver not playing again yesterday, right? And look, they did a pretty good job in the grand scheme of it, like we've talked about, right? Bosa again got in there, and
I thought he struggled a little bit though.
Yeah, true. Yeah,
missed some tackles. Tackling was a problem as a whole though.
Yeah.
Taylor Rapp, I think that's another problem here too. He has not been what he's been last year. Mm-hmm. Not noticeable, not doing the job. I just think there's a lot of guys that, it's only week 4 that need to step up. And, of course, they still got guys that are injured. Like you said, Matt Milano didn't play in this game. So they're not healthy as a whole unit yet. So I'm not going to, again, panic when they've allowed 21 points or fewer in 3 straight games.
Yeah.
Look at the Packers' defense of back-to-back weeks. They're elite, right?
Right.
What happened? No CD Lamb.
Yeah.
It's Dallas.
Killed him.
Yeah. So,
and
I don't know.
Vontae Turpin. and Pickens just tore him up.
Yeah.
So whatever. I don't think there's too much to complain right now. It's week 4. It's not even October technically yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're 4-0. It isn't October yet until tomorrow or the next day.
By the time they play again, it'll be
Wednesday. Wednesday's October 1st?
Wednesday. Yeah.
So let's just forget it.
No. And that's the thing, right? This was I thought, like I said, overall it's a good defensive effort. Bend don't break. They didn't, like I said, they didn't put the team in a lurch by any means.
Wait,
so
I just forgot 2 other things too. I don't know what was going on. They had they didn't have enough guys on the field for the 2-point conversion. They had to call a timeout.
Yeah.
And then they had to call another timeout because they had too many guys.
Yeah.
So I don't know what was happening there, but
tighten
you don't
that
see
up.
that usually.
Yeah, you tighten that up. You don't want to waste a timeout on a 2-point conversion.
And remember, the game that got Ken Dorsey fired 2 years ago, even though he has nothing to do with the special teams. The Bills only had 10 guys on the field for that game-winning field goal against the Broncos.
Right.
Yeah.
So this can't happen. I don't know what's going on. And they even have a new special teams coordinator.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
They did make a switch up some special teams with Codrington being out.
Healthy scratch.
Yeah, but I think the reason
I have a
that they did it is because he can't play anywhere on the field. Like, you can't put him in on defense if there's an injury. So I think it's more of a roster thing, just in case there's injuries.
Yeah,
but Shakir was back on punts, which is fine with me. I mean, he can be a playmaker.
I mean, he used
as
to
a
do that
punt
anyway.
returner. And then Ty Johnson and Curtis Samuel were out for kickoff, so it's nice to see Curtis Samuel at least be somewhat useful for something.
Yeah, so they have guys coming back from the suspension list coming up, I think, after week 6. Yeah. So I think they're looking to see who's going to be like the corresponding roster move. And like you said, Codrington can't do anything else. So they're satisfied with putting Shakir as punt returner and Samuel and Johnson as the kick returners. So I think he's going to be the odd man out. Although I think Codrington has done a really good job. I just think it's a numbers game.
Right.
Make a
You
hard
can't.
decision.
You have to take up a roster spot for a kick returner.
Yeah. Yeah, and I mean, frankly, look, obviously it's different now and the way kickoffs are done in the NFL now, right? But like Curtis Samuel, 3 kickoff returns yesterday, averaged over 27 yards on each of them. I mean,
Maybe he found his niche.
Not bad. You know what I mean? So just one of those things where it's like,
Got to get your value out of him somehow.
yeah. So, hey, Matt Prater, perfecto again. I know it was only 1 field goal and the extra points, but just keep piling on to the decision they're going to have to make here in a few weeks. So
I don't even think it's a decision at this point.
I don't think so either,
I
but
have his updated numbers: 8 for 9 on field goals, 13 for 13 on extra points.
The one he missed was a horrible
Yep,
miss.
39 yards, 52 is his longest.
yeah.
He only had to go 1 for 1 yesterday.
And he's become, I believe, one of the top special teams guys in fantasy value too. So I don't know, man. I think the Bills are just going to have to take that $6 million cap hit on a kicker and keep it moving.
The thing is, it doesn't sound like Tyler Bass is even going to be ready to return to practice this week. So I don't think they really have to make a decision anytime soon.
Yeah.
But they will have to make a decision today. I'm expecting them to bring in a punter because Cameron Johnston was the Saints had a roughing the punter penalty.
Yeah.
And he hurt his knee badly. Came out to hold later, but that's just holding. That's not punting. So expect them to bring in another punter. I don't know who that's going to be. Riley Dixon.
The Bucks didn't move on from
Who's
him.
Dixon kicking
He's
for
with the
now?
Bucks.
Denver?
He's a free
Tampa
agent.
Bay.
No, he's with Tampa Bay.
According to, I saw a list
Did they
last night.
drop
I was
him?
looking for free agent punters. Maybe
Well, that'd be crazy.
Maybe it was a bad list.
Maybe
but
I'll do
No,
some
I saw
quick
Dixon
research.
on the field for Tampa Bay, I guess. But every time I see a Syracuse guy, I notice it.
Hey, I get irrationally excited for Andre Schmidt with Cleveland. So
Yeah, good for him.
hey.
After a rough start in week 1. But Dixon is prolific. Like, he can do things
Yeah,
other
Bucks,
than
you're
punt,
right.
too. He can do some fakes. But if he was available, I'd love.
I
him.
think there is
old
though.
article. That's why.
Well, I think there is also too, though, to be fair to what you looked at and what people may be doing. Excuse me, is I believe there is also another Riley Dixon though, because I remember there being
that
a
might be too.
big thing a while ago about that. But
Riley Dixon's. I want
Yeah.
the one that went to Syracuse.
no, I don't disagree. So
I guess they could just bring in the guy that they had in preseason, Brad Robbins. But
yeah,
It's funny too. How many times have the Bills punted this year? Like 4.
well, they had 2 yesterday, so I don't know. It's definitely on the low end of things.
it's
That's
like
for sure.
Teams don't punt as much in the NFL anymore either. Because they're either going for it on 4th down once they get to midfield, or they're like kicking 70-yard field goals.
I think the new kickoff rule too ruins it because
Yeah.
teams start at such great field position.
Right.
And even if they don't get the first down, they don't really have to punt. They're kind of already in the other opponent's territory.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, gone are the days of pinning somebody in that sense. So
Coffin
credit to the
corner.
Bills, by the way, for not giving up any blocked field goals. I guess you could maybe count the miss against Miami. Prater, somebody said somebody may have gotten a finger on it, but other than that, we haven't seen the Bills punters or kickers get blocked like the rest of the league is.
Kicks blocks this year.
yeah.
So that's pretty good that they've probably been working on that.
All right, week ahead. Sunday Night Football against the Patriots at home. Not bad at all there. Should be a pretty good night. Weather looks pretty good throughout the whole week even, so I'm sure the tailgating will be in full effect.
Sunday's forecast is sunny and warm for this time of year, but probably, around 70 degrees and just perfect day for football.
Yeah.
But this game is a big game for the Patriots.
Yes.
For a lot of reasons, but if they want any shot to have any say in the AFC East, they need to beat the Bills.
Yeah.
And so I think they might be a little extra motivated. But by that regard, the Bills should be motivated too, playing at home on Sunday Night Football. So I think that they'll probably handle that game. And also New England coming off a fairly easy win last week against Carolina. The Bills should obviously win this game.
Yeah.
It was so easy that Andy Dalton saw time on the field.
Right, for the losing team, and threw a touchdown pass.
Yeah, my main thing though with this game is I don't think you can take the Patriots as, and this is where I worry about the Bills kind of playing to their competition. I don't think you can take the Patriots exactly lightly by any means. Like you shouldn't be doing that anyway in the NFL. But it's very apparent that this Patriots team, right, is not what they have been the past 2 years.
They're better than the past 2 years.
Yeah. So,
but they're still not in a
right. They aren't
legitimate contender.
Yeah,
for
they aren't
postseason
punching at the weight class the Bills are. But
good running
they
game.
aren't. But they aren't afraid to punch up. You know what I mean? Drake to me the catalyst, frankly, is Drake May. Drake May to me looks considerably even better than he has last year, his rookie year to start the year.
He's dual threat.
And, it's one of those things where it's kind of weird seeing the Patriots in an offensive scheme where it's like you have a mobile quarterback who can throw and good running backs behind him. It's kind of a weird, for us anyway, it feels like a weird Twilight Zone kind of team in a way.
Ravion Henderson looks like the real deal.
Yeah. So, and
Stephon Diggs coming back to Buffalo.
But I was about
off his first 100-yard game.
But I was about to say the key part to me though is the fact that Hunter Henry's having a resurgence at tight end for them. Obviously, Diggs is stepping through the system a little bit better through New England now the past couple weeks.
We got Christian Gonzalez back.
Yeah, this is I think a bit of a tougher team than it may even show a little bit on paper here.
Toughest team they played since week 1, I think.
Probably,
Baltimore. But what's the early line? I'm going to guess it's Buffalo by 4.5.
No,
Double that.
Yeah. So
really?
Well, hold on.
It's 8.5 last night when it opened.
We already have movement. It opened at 8.5, but it's down to 7.5. So, the public, at least at the moment, is jumping on the Patriots side of things, catching more than a touchdown right now. So, some of the monitor there over under 49.5. It opened at that. It stayed at that for now. So, I don't know. It seems as though the people at interest there seem to think this might be a bit of a tighter contest.
I think it's going to be a high-scoring game.
Yeah. So
I think that the Bills will be pushing up towards 40 points, and I think the Patriots will be the first team to score in the high 20s against the Bills in the past 3 weeks.
Yeah.
If you want my prediction now, I can give it to you.
Yeah, I mean, I think we can be at that point. We all at least got the win in the sense of we all picked the Bills to win, obviously, last week. I know that's stunning, I know, but I don't know. I think I got to give the edge to Kyle, though, last week, who was, I guess, technically the closest on the score prediction side of things at 34-17, so.
The Patriots defense has actually given the Bills problems lately. Even last year, it was Bills 24, Patriots 21, and that game was in Buffalo.
Yeah.
So I don't think the Bills reached the 30-point mark in this game. Something tells me Bills 27, Patriots 23.
Yeah.
For
Jim,
whatever reason, they just have trouble against that defense.
Yeah. Jim, you can go here.
Different team this year. Prime time, I think it's going to be a big night for Josh Allen. Let's go Bills. Bills 38, Patriots 29.
Well, I guess I'm closer to Kyle on this, obviously. I think the Bills win, but I'm telling you, I think it's going to be a tight one. I'm going Bills 29, Patriots 26.
And here's the number: the Patriots have held the Bills under 30 points in 5 of the last 6 matchups.
Yeah.
So it's even before last year. I don't know. I don't know why that is.
Divisional opponents.
Yeah.
But I think that New England's going to put up some points themselves, so the Bills are going to have to counter it, and I just think it's going to be that kind of game.
Yeah.
Can you guess the last 5-0 start if they do win this game?
For the Bills?
Mm-hmm. What year?
I'm going to say 1990.
Never been done.
91. Been done 3 times.
That was close.
So it would be the 4th 5-0 start.
So that would have been the year after they lost to the Giants in the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
They came out the following year and went 5-0.
Yep.
And then went to the Super Bowl again and got slaughtered by the Cowboys in 91, or was that
Washington, I think.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Super Bowl's always, I don't know if I've said it on here, I've said it elsewhere, but Super Bowl's always confused me because, like, you play the season and the end of, like, the year, and they list it as that being the year, and then you get to the Super, it always confuses me, so.
right?
Yeah.
That was also the era when the AFC just consistently lost Super Bowls by, like, wide margins for like, a decade.
Yeah.
About
to say,
anymore.
About to say, there was a run there, from like 80.
Yeah, I can't remember what it was.
I about to say, I can't remember off the top of my head, but like
straight years that the NFC won by and they were usually, Super Bowl was usually like the boringest game of the year. It would be like 40-point wins.
Yeah.
And the Bills were at the receiving end of a lot of those losses.
Yeah. So, who knows?
This could be the year. This could be the year, boys. I'm looking down at this schedule, and if we avoid injury, we're certainly, especially now more than ever, have a major inside track on home field advantage through the playoffs.
And
Super Bowl.
That's what, we talked about there at the start of the podcast this year, was the fact that they have to take advantage of the schedule this year. They have to, and you
don't want to see any slip-ups at this point.
Right.
Don't want to fall back. You want to keep that lead in the, like I say, the AFC home field advantage race.
Mm-hmm.
And a win for New England will just keep them on that path.
Yeah. Especially now, game in hand on everybody else. So, hey, I think they got to. And at least for me personally, it helps that my working Ravens theory is being proven. So,
well, Baltimore's 1-4, Kansas City's 2-2.
Mm-hmm.
The Chargers, we thought were going to be maybe the best team in the AFC. They lost to the Giants.
That was a weird.
They lost.
More 1-3, by the way.
Yeah.
1-3. Yeah, and Giants beat the Chargers. Cincinnati's in disarray, even though they're what are they 2-1 heading into tonight's game?
Yes.
Without
They'll be 2-2.
obviously with Jake Browning starting.
The Broncos will be 2-2 as well. Cause
Yeah.
Broncos will beat them bad.
Well, hey.
Calling your shot, Kyle.
And the Chargers might be in trouble. The right tackle went out yesterday.
Yeah, Joe Altman
They
down.
already don't have their left tackle.
Yeah.
So is Justin Herbert going to start, struggling with that offensive line? We'll see.
So the point being, like, with the Bills literally being favorites in every single game they'll play for the rest of the year, barring some major injury trouble, just let's not fall back to the pack. Let's keep on, let's be talking here in week 12 about how the Bills are the only undefeated team in football, and can they go undefeated? Can they spoil the Miami Dolphins, the 1972 Miami Dolphins?
Yeah. Well, borrow a racing adage here. Keep that right foot heavy.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Step on their throats.
Yeah. Going healthy for once. Yeah. Joe Bernard, Matt Milano just have never been healthy going into the playoffs.
Yeah, long way to go before we can talk about how healthy they'll be in January, but great start. These podcasts are a little boring.
Yeah.
It's like clockwork. Win, talk about it. Win.
Which is good. Good. Remember, was it 2 years ago? Was it 2 years ago that they got off that horrible start
Well,
and then
It was like an
Houston
average start, yeah.
and Houston throttled them, and we thought the sky was falling.
two years.
Those were
2 years
more
ago
fun
under
podcasts.
Dorsey.
Yeah, 2 years ago was me also firing Sean McDermott every week.
But those podcasts were exciting. These podcasts are boring.
Yeah.
No offense to our listeners. I mean, I hope you're still awake out there. But guess what? The Bills won again. They beat the Saints.
Right. I mean, that's the thing, right? When we talked about last week and we've talked about this week, how the only way we're probably going to have really huge talking points was if the Bills lost this game and stuff went sideways and just.
There's no controversy.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
We're solid. And again, I'm not going to sit here and nitpick a 4-0 team and say that they need to change this or that.
Right.
Let's see what happens next Sunday night.
Before we really get out of here, I do want to make note. Dwayne Carter. So I'm on TikTok this morning, as I usually do, right? Kyle knows where I'm going with this.
Actually,
think.
I don't.
Okay, so I want to give some kudos to him. He is going to various restaurants across Western New York. And the only reason why it popped up for me is I think I've been watching some, like, on my For You page right now, it's a lot of, like, local spots up, like, in Rochester that get highlighted. And Dwayne went up to a place in Rochester on, I don't know if it was Friday maybe. I don't know exactly how the Bills schedule works kind of closely on game times like that. But went up to a place because a guy got a hold of him and he went up and he's highlighting a bunch of different, like, restaurants across Western New York, whether clearly it's in Rochester or Buffalo and places in between. So it's pretty cool. I know, obviously, throughout the league, there's other people who do that with different teams and stuff like that, but it's pretty cool that a Bills rookie is essentially doing that. You know what I mean? So, and for me especially, too, he had a Dale Earnhardt shirt on during this, so shout out to you, Dwayne Carter, the man in black, too. So keep an eye on that if you're on TikTok on the For You feeds, and seems like he's very genuine about what he's doing and stuff like that. It's just a cool thing to see a young player in the league kind of take what he hopes to be his roots seriously.
Yep.
You know what I mean? So, pretty cool.
Bad Bunny to headline the Super Bowl halftime show too. So
Yeah.
there's that.
I don't know.
Because the Bills are going to be playing in it this year.
Correct. Yes.
Months after he said he wouldn't do a show, and because of never mind.
Yeah,
Don't want to get into political.
Bad
Well, my main thing with Bad Bunny is I only know him from, like, his acting, so, like, I don't even know what the hell.
Basically, he didn't want to get deported,
Right.
or any of his friends to get deported if they had a show. And
the bad news for everybody on that front is he is a U.S. citizen, so I don't.
I think his friends and all that, but his members of the.
Bad Bunny posse.
Look, I just know him from his acting. Shout out Happy Gilmore too, and I don't.
It's gonna be awful.
We'll see.
Whatever.
I don't
Just
know.
mute the TV, I guess. At halftime.
Yeah, Super Bowl.
Yeah.
All of last year's was okay because of the Drake beef.
Yes. Yes, it was, Jim. Yes, it was. As somebody who was pro Kendrick. So, okay, let's get out here on that note, fellas. Appreciate you as always. We'll be back at it again next Monday morning, 10
Fresh
a.m.
off a Sunday night game. I love it.
Hopefully, selfishly, I hope we don't have a tie and it doesn't go, excuse me, until after midnight local. So
12-13 is when I saw it end.
yeah,
Yep.
just
I had a parlay last night in that game that would have paid really well, and I hit all the legs of it except for Prescott needed 6.5 rushing yards, and he had like 3.
oof.
And remember that towards the end of that game when he looked like when Parsons ran down from behind.
They credited it as a sack, even though there was no loss, no gain.
Right.
He just got back to the line.
Right, but that was I thought this is it. He's got it. You know, it was like a $10 to win $600 type of deal.
You want to what? By the way, before we go on that front, then too, screw it. I'll do part of this here. What in the hell were the Packers doing?
Oh,
The final 10 seconds. What the hell was that?
bad clock management.
Oh, they almost didn't get a chance to kick the field goal.
Yeah. I mean, what are we doing?
After the game, Jordan Love acted like it just wasn't a big deal. He's like, we were just trying to go for a big play and catch
do
him
it
off
faster.
guard. And
Go faster.
it's like they didn't really care if it ended up being a loss because they went aggressively. I mean, I
get it from the fan perspective, right? A tie is a tie. It's miserable. It's whatever, right? But like in that situation, if you're them, what, like...
And they had one timeout, right? I think.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you burn that timeout and stop letting the clock keep going down so you can actually set up a play for the end zone and then take your field goal if you don't get it?
It's I'm going to use a callback to a Syracuse football thing here, Jim. It's like Dino Babers. Is there a clause in Matt LaFleur's contract where he gets a bonus for taking him with him? Like, what are we doing?
So now we have to see what 2-1-1
Christ.
next to the Packers' name,
Yeah.
and what 1-2-1 for the Cowboys.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
stupid.
Yeah,
Should never be ties.
I agree. There's no need to be ties in the NFL.
Especially the NFL, and then at least make it the extra 5 minutes, the full 15, if you're gonna, and then maybe make it a tie. But that game would have ended if there was 5 more minutes.
Yeah, I don't necessarily think you even need it to have the clock in the overtime.
That's
where in my mind college has it right in the sense of everybody you get your opportunities and you go from there.
I don't love college either, though, honestly, because sometimes it gets ridiculous. You know,
Right, but
where it's like, oh, this game's going into the 7th overtime, where
Right.
they're just going back and forth down either end of
not
the
a
field.
fan either.
I think that you kick, you treat it like a quarter. The same rules
real
apply.
football.
Yeah, both teams need to touch the ball. You can't win it with a field goal, and then no game clock. Play till there's a winner.
right, but I just mean they don't end in tie. I mean they have it figured out to where
Yeah, right.
you know,
Stupid ties.
the result.
Nobody likes a
Yeah.
tie, and it's especially the
Jerry
people
Jones
that
does.
he was
That's what he
happy
said
with
after
the
the
tie.
game. He said, "I'm okay with it," or something along those lines.
Jesus
And
Christ.
somebody,
Jerry.
people are commenting, "You're okay with mediocrity," or other stuff like that, and
That's because Jerry had to help pony up for a buyout for Arkansas firing Sam Pittman this past week. So
he just sat up in his box clapping as the tie came down.
yeah.
Yeah, good
Well,
tie.
we didn't lose, so it's a good night. Yeah,
Yeah.
keep
Good
enjoying
tie.
that.
Good tie at home.
Yeah. So, all right. Let's get out of here now,
Yep.
officially on that note. So, we'll be back again 10 a.m. next Monday. Recap the Sunday night game against the Patriots for the Bills. You can find Bills Weekly here on FingerLakes1.com, the FO1 YouTube channel. Like, share, and subscribe there, and all major podcasting platforms. Once again, back at it again next week, 10 a.m. Monday. Let's go, Buffalo.